Hey, good morning. Happy weekend. This is Saturday, August 7th. Looks like we made it to the weekend. Thank goodness, right? Um, I've got a 10 book order that I want to screen here, and we're going to go through it together. So, if you have any questions or you think that the results should be a little bit different, let me know in the chat. So, let's get started. So the first book we have, this is Basilisk number 2. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. This is the Martin Simmons 25 copy variant. What I noticed during the unboxing with this one was that there was no impact damage, at least visibly, on the bags and boards. So if you watch that video, you can see this was a big improvement from before here, where, there we go. Don't really see any issues with it from the packaging perspective. We'll take it out of the bag and board. We'll look at this together here. And I did it again where I got the, you need to swap monitors just for a quick second. There we go. All right, that's better. So looks pretty good. That corner is, I'd say, is typical. Typical corner. Move this out of the way here. There we go. Okay. Looks really nice. This is the matte cover, not the glossy. These typically, I would say, end up being in better shape overall. These cam froze. That's okay. Didn't need to see my face anyway. This looks like a 9/8. There's a little bit of a defect down there, very minor. Not too bad though. I think this is a 9/8. I don't see any other defects. Anything that you see there is just part of the art. So looks good. All right, so let's go back to catalog. And we're going to take a look at it in Go Collect. And they do have it in here. Assign it a 9/8. CGC as always, I know these are raw, but this is how I am able to determine which books to send off to CGC by the value of the graded label plus the condition. And then I also put it in cover price because if I don't send it off for grading, I would like to see what the raw book goes for. So there's 3 variants of Basilisk number 2. Here is the Martin Simmons 1 in 25. It's like right now, according to cover price, this book is selling for under ratio. This series is interesting. It hasn't really taken off. I really thought it would. The book that had the preview in it, that issue got hot, but the story itself, the other issues in this series not really in as high demand at the moment. All right, so it was in Go Collect. So I put yes, cover price yes. I'm gonna hide column N just so that it's not confusing. So my grade, I'm assigning it a 9.8, and we could see these adjust. I'll give it an extra decimal point. Turn this into a percentage, and we're off and running. So it's 1 for 10 already. And go ahead and get this one put into a fullback. Since it is a 25 copy ratio, I do like to use the fullbacks on these instead of the standard board. I write the grade that I assign it to the textured side of the fullback, like so. And I'm not going to treat this book to a light. I'll just use the standard bag. Just because it's selling for under ratio, it is a 9.8. The fullback will take care of it, no problem. That goes in there. Very nice. Okay, one down. Next book. This is Canto 3. This is also the 25 copy. Now this book did appear on some lists recently as having some interest, desirability. Yes, the dreaded stickers on the back of the books. My worst nightmare. Well, is it my worst nightmare? I don't know if it's my worst nightmare, but it's up there. It's in my top 10 of worst nightmares. All right, let's see how this one looks. This is a glossy cover. IDW books are so tough, just like Marvel, to get what I would say a no-brainer, no question 9.8. I can see already right there in that corner. It's a little bit of a fold. I think I just fixed it. Yeah. Already this is kind of a pressing candidate right there, although there's a little bit of whitening. I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that's the deal breaker, but it basically has to be a perfect book otherwise for me. The corner looks pretty good. Not bad. I mean, these are hairline spine ticks but non-color breaking. Issue right there. Hard to see on camera, especially in the gray, but it's right in there. That corner looks pretty good. All right. Oh, look at this. Awesome. A completely black back cover. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of a dent there. Right there below the UPC. There's something there. That's why I always take it out of the bag and board, because in the bag, it's 9.8 all day. Now we're getting into 9.4 territory. So I just noticed this as well. That's color breaking on the spine. Spine is a little rolled, wrinkled. Again, IDW, I'm also getting my fingerprints all over the back. Surprise, with the black back as I was sitting here holding it and sweating. So I'd have to clean up the fingerprints now. A lot of wrinkling. So it's a pressable book, but gosh, the tick on the back there is pretty brutal. So I'm going to put it down as a 9.4, but still I think a candidate for some pressing for a little bit of cleanup. Okay, so let's see how this book is doing. This is Canto 3, number 1, 25 copy. And I'm giving it a 9.4. I think I can improve that to a 9.6 with a a decent press and some fingerprint cleanup. That, I mean, I put my own fingerprints on it, unfortunately. But I'm curious to see what this book is going for raw in cover price. I know it heated up, but did it come back down? Let's take a look. So this is Canto 3, number 1. Lionhearted. Yeah, it's come back down to ratio. The 1 in 10 looks cool. So currently cover price has this book at $23. So if it holds at ratio, I'm happy with that. Okay, so this was in both Go Collect and cover price. This is tough. I don't, do I blame TFAW for the condition? No, I don't. I think it's more IDW. Honestly, the paper quality there, pretty rough. These are these little subtle things that you pick up over time when you grade. You start to understand paper quality and publishers, and I don't know, you can almost just tell right away, like when I get certain Scout comics or Boom Studios comics, just the paper that they use. And I do have a Bad Idea book in here that I purchased for the first time, not because I was interested in the story, but they brag pretty heavily around how they use quality materials, so I'm really curious to see what that book looks like when I take it out of the bag here. But anyway, you can kind of pick up on certain things from different publishers, and you can kind of almost predict, like before you order, how it's going to be, how it's going to turn out, especially like where you're ordering the book from. I mean, if you see this book in an LCS, it's clearly marked up to $25 because they're selling it at ratio. I'm sure if I went to one of my local LCSs, what they actually mark up the book beyond ratio because they try and do a live claim sale. So that book is, I would imagine, $30 to $40 at the LCS. And you'd have to ask them to see it, take it out of the bag, and it's a whole production. So, and the reason I talk about that is because when you're looking at buying slabs, if it's an IDW book at a 9.8, to me, that's a tougher 9.8 than, I would say, like a standard book, standard modern book, maybe like a, obviously like cardstock and things like that. It's a better chance to get a 9.8, but let's move on. Okay, this is another 25 copy. This is Eve number 3, the Lindsay variant. Bye-bye sticker. And this is one of the reasons I saved the fullbacks from the boxed heroes, and I swap them out, and I use the fullbacks on books like this. So already, right off the bat, that's disappointing. So there's some corner issue right there. Little bit of a dent. You'll see some 9/8 slide by with that, but again, are you going to send your money, your hard-earned money, to CGC with a book like this and say, yeah, that's a 9/8 all day long? Could that be pressed out or improved? Possibly, but there's some color break issue on both sides of the damage, so that's tough. I feel like even if this is perfect, it's just a solid 9.6 otherwise, and it is. It looks great. There's really no other issue. Nothing there. If you see that on camera, that's just part of the art. Same thing over here. Spine looks really good up and down. Yeah, that's unfortunate. 9.6. If this book takes off, I'd revisit it and consider pressing, but I think it is what it is with that corner. All right. Eve is another series I'm pretty strong on, but I don't think it's really taken off quite yet. I think there's some general interest in it, but I don't think it's like jumping on every hot list right now. So let me get this cataloged. July 15th is when I placed this order from Things from Another World. And this order came in their cardboard mailer and not the giant subscription box. So the experiment here, or the I'm trying to see if so this one's actually selling above ratio 2780, not bad. So I had got 2 orders from Things from Another World using their mailer. They were packaged a little bit differently on the inside. And one had impact damage and one didn't. This was the one that did not have impact damage. So I'm trying to compare these 2 orders and see what the quality is. All right. So I'm just checking out the prices overall. It's like it's holding its own, at least, still more or less at cover, a little bit above. This is the cover A, $9.24. So looks pretty good. Love that cover for number 2. July 15th. And we're going to plug it in as a 9.6. So yeah, let me find the other order real quick. So this was the last order of Things from Another World that I did. It averaged out 9.41. It was a 9-book order at 44.44% at a chance for a 9.8. Right now the average grade is above, but 1 out of 3 for a 9.8. Again, because this is a 25 copy, I'm giving it the fullback. 9.6. I'm not going to mark it as with the P indicator, letting me know down the road that I want to consider pressing. Kind of on the fence with this one. The press would possibly improve that corner, but too many color breaking issues on both sides of the damage, so I'm gonna leave it as is, just as a 9.6. So cool cover. Didn't quite get the fullback all the way in there. There we go. I like it. Really interesting cover to look at. Would look great in a slab. So hopefully the series takes off, picks up some value, and then it would be worthwhile for me to send it in for grading. Assuming maybe I could clean up that corner a little bit. All right, so this is the same story, same book, but this is the 10-copy version. So this is the Pendergast variant, cover C. Goodbye sticker. All right, and it does also have the matte cover. Love the line art, the line work around the roots of the tree here. Looks really good. This one's funny. It looks better out of the bag. Like the art looks really, really clean. The color tones are great. I don't see too many issues, if any. Spine looks fantastic. I'm going to pray this is not an all black back cover, thank goodness. This looks great. Got some issue down there in the corner. This is going to be hard to pick up on camera, but very, very, very subtle denting right in there. So now it's borderline 9.8. Could be 9.6, but the rest of the book is so pristine. Every corner is sharp. This one has a little bit of corner splitting right there. I'm going to give it a 9.8. Well, gosh. See, this is the tough part. So you tell me, what do you think, right? Because this isn't going to show up on the camera. And I don't know if I can put a shadow over it to get it in there. But there's a very, very subtle... there it is, right there. I think you could see it. There's a very, very subtle ding. And maybe it's not so subtle now that I hold it this way. So it's a 9.6. But it doesn't have the color breaking issue. So down there is, again, because of the impact, it actually added like a hairline tick there as well. So I'm going to give it a 9.6, but this one I will indicate that that is pressable. I would like to see that cleaned up because that could push it across the finish line to a 9.8. I'll get this entered, 9.6. And I don't bother putting any notes in here about defects or anything because I rarely come back into Go Collect and look at the details that I enter. I just use it. I just use their reports after everything is entered. Yeah. So this is. So this is selling under ratio. 9.6. Yeah, this cover of number 2 and this cover number 3 might be my two favorites. Cover A is going to be great just because it's the cover A. It'll be what everybody uses on their top 10 lists and everything, but and some really great covers to this story. July 15th. All right, that is saved. I'm giving this one a fullback just because I like the cover. And these are my books, I get to do what I want. So 9.6, I will indicate that I believe it can be pressed and improved. Looks great. Okay. Set that aside. Update the spreadsheet. 9.6. So things from another world holding strong at 9.6 on the average. 1 out of the 4. 9.8. Let's look at their overall stats very quickly. So right now 9.6277 is the average grade. So certainly trending towards that strong 9.6. The percentage of books 9.8 is slowly declining, although I have a big subscription order to go through. That's typically what brings it back up. These standard cardboard mailers for, like a 1 to 12 issue order, it's definitely of a lesser quality. I mean, it's great quality, but to the standard that I hold Things from Another World, it's just a touch under the normal high quality books in high grade that I get. But anyway, so this is their overall stats: 53%, almost 53.5% chance at a 9.8. So as of right now, this order is underperforming. And let's see if we can get it going here again. Next one is Fight Girls #1. This is the second copy that I picked up. I just threw another one in there as a Frank Cho fan. Artists, Writers, and Artisans is the publisher on this one. Their paper quality feels like IDW, or maybe just slightly better. Corner looks okay. No issues yet. What does it look like? So far, so good, right? Corner looks okay. That one looks pretty sharp. Edges are nice and clean and straight. I don't really see any wrinkling either as I move the light back and forth. This is another thing when you're grading, is to find some overhead lighting and just keep slowly tilting the book back and forth and look for anything that you might see, any blemishes, wrinkles, and so forth. Same thing with the back. Just kind of tilt it this way, back and forth. This one looks great. This is a 9.8. I'm noticing a trend though. There's that damage right there. That one's not too terrible. A quick press would certainly clean it up, but is that necessary? I don't think so. I think it's pretty nice. I think that would get a pass for a 9.8 just because it's sharp everywhere else. That is one thing I've learned, is that if you see a defect, you don't have to go too crazy and completely punish a book. A 9.8 typically has a couple of defects, whether it be a couple of hairline spine ticks, even a color break if it's very minor. A little bit of a soft corner. They'll give you a pass on that one. All right, so I do have one other one in the collection. 9.8. And I don't remember what the other one was. Right, girls. 9.8. Okay, so I got two copies. 9.8. So this title's doomed. No, I'm kidding. I mean, probably, but. Yeah, this one's selling for, looks like undercover price. It's a 5-issue limited series. Okay, so I'll just give this one, because it's a 9.8, I'll give it a fresh bag and board. And that's kind of how I make my decisions. If it's a 9.8 first issue, I'll replace the bag and board that TFAW sends. You'll find with books that you get on eBay, like if you get a lot of books, or you just have extra books laying around, or like the Boxed Heroes books are a good example, where you want to remove it from the damaged MyLite. You want to save the fullback, but you don't want to necessarily put just a standard book back in with a fullback. I'll take the Things from Another World bag and board and swap it out. So something like this, there's nothing really wrong with it necessarily. That's a little troubling, but when you put the Scotch tape back over to fix the the sticker issue. Those are reusable, so I save those. Or I use them as filler in shipping. Okay, so put this in Go Collect, put it in cover price, 9.8. I may have had the other camera active, sorry about that. But here it is in Go Collect. My second copy is a 9.8, and then also here in cover price. So go back. Yeah, so this is showing my 2 issues. Okay. Next up. Geiger number 4. Now this is an interesting series as well. Written by Jeff Johns. Art by Gary Frank. One of my favorite artists. And honestly, I picked it up. I started buying several copies of issue number 1. And got into it because of the art. And the first issue started to, it's just recently started to pick up and get some attention as far as speculation and investment value. So this is feels like, it's definitely like a matte cardstock cover type, which helps it. Spine looks really good. Corner has a little bit of a thing there. It's okay. The corner sharp edges look nice. No real issue on the cover that I can see. I'm trying to see if that's folded there. No, that's okay. The back will be interesting with that dark blue, but this copy looks pretty good. Not sure what to make of that corner, but I don't see that the issue that the previous books had towards the bottom. They were all having this sort of issue right there, and I don't see it on this one. This one looks clean. So this is a 9.8. So Geiger 4. And we'll see how issue number 1 is doing here. I think this is cover D. Nope, cover A, Frank and Anderson. Okay, that's in Geiger 4. And now let's check out how the series is doing overall. First I'll add this, 9.8. Yeah, I mean, cover price has been indicating this as a hot book for, I think, for the last week. This is cover A. $8.60. This one shot up the Eric Larson variant a little bit. Yeah, I didn't go too crazy with the first issue. I got the variants, I got the blank. What I like is, it's funny, the blank I gave a 9.6, but I gave 9.8 to the other 5 number 1 issues. So we shall see. Let me put in the details of this and we'll keep moving. And we'll see, I think this will put Things from Another World back at their average for Chance at a 9.8. So we're 40% with Fight Girls number 1 and up to now 50% because of Geiger number 1. And as it stands right now, if you're looking at the the ledger stats. You've got it pretty much right on target, 9.6279 and a 53.5%. And there it is. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about with Things from Another World, and also when you can start to, with this data, you can really start to predict what you're going to get, whether it be from a publisher, a title, online store, distributor, all of that stuff combined, so that you can kind of spend your money wisely if you're looking for high-grade books. Okay, next up is Red Room number 2. Let's get this out of the bag and board. So we are halfway, no, 6 down, 4 to go. All right, this has a black cover. This will be fun. So this is from Fantagraphics, and just from holding the book and the feel of it, it's a different paper quality. Definitely has a corner issue there, so that's not good. It's splitting, I would say, naturally. It's not great, but it's unfortunate. The green really pops, the binary matrix green in the back. It really pops on the coloring of this one. It's got a little bit of a cardstock feel, which is helping protect it, which actually I think hurt it down there in the corner, but otherwise it's fine. Here, there's an issue there too. You can see right. Let me take it off the book. Oh, maybe. Oh, it was on this page, I think. First page. Yeah, there it is. Get it in the light right there. Right on the corner. Right there. That's because the cover doesn't come all the way over. There's just a handful of issues now up and down that first page. Yeah, you could see right here too. So that's interesting. Yeah, right there. Right by my thumb. So it's just because of how the book was cut. It's cut a little short. I assume that was on purpose. The back cover is like that as well. I don't see too many issues on the back. It looks pretty clean. I didn't sweat too much all over it. What do you think? 9.6, 9.4? I don't think it's a 9.8. It's just. I keep finding little things wrong with it. Down there, you see right at the bottom, there's like 2 or 3 things there. Corner looks even worse if you're looking at it from the back. I mean, if I pull the cover away from the book, it's at least a 9.6, but then with that first page all jacked. Yeah, it's a 9.4. As I'm flipping through here, look, it's on every page too. I don't even know if it's worth looking at, but basically there right there. So 9.4, and then what I'll do is I'll just put it back in the TFAW bag and board. They charge you the bag and board service, so I do try and make use of it. I don't know if this is pressable or not. I'm not advanced enough as a presser to understand how you would press a book like this that's cut. So I'm just putting a 9.4. If Red Room number 2 becomes a $1,000 book, then I'll look at getting it pressed by a professional. But there it is, nonetheless. Okay, let's get it into the catalog. Red Room number 2. 9.4. Trying to think, how would you press a book like that? You'd have to probably put different cardstock pages here and there towards the front and back cover to make it all kind of even out. But I feel like it would, I don't know, the unevenness of the front cover in the first page and the back cover in the last page would make it challenging to get it just right. Red Room number 2. I think Go Collect had those backwards. This is cover A. Oh no, Vampirella Red Room. My bad. Can't leave that up on the screen too long. 9.4. So just as Things from Another World was on a roll with this order, they dropped back down under their average. So July 15th was the purchase date. All right, and then in the spreadsheet, 9.4. All right, 3 issues to go to see if they can redeem themselves, and we do have that Bad Idea book. I'm very curious to see what the quality is there. All right, so this is Silk number 4. And then this starts to happen. You get a whole stack of stickers. Fun stuff. Okay, let's take a look. Silk number 4. This is your standard super thin paper quality cover from Marvel, so you always get issues like that right there by my finger. It's a hairline spine tick, but it's just, you almost get that every time, and multiple times you get the spine splitting, which again you get a pass on. I used to be really critical of books. I'm like, uh-oh, spine split, that's a 9-2. But that's actually just part of it's part of the book, but it's part of Marvel now. It's just the way the books are. I mean, if CGC dinged you on everything because of the cheapness of the paper, no one would ever get 9/8. There's another hairline tick right there. So I'm already looking at 9/6, and then I definitely notice, again, this is why I said move the light back and forth. You can see right there from the S and then straight down all the way through the book. There, you can see it in the light. It goes all the way down. So this is definitely something that needs a press. I don't know what that's from, but it goes. It subtly goes through the entire book. How about the back? Back looks okay. Typical wrinkling. Some chipping down here. A little bit around the staple. Right there and right there. But again, what I have to factor in with the Marvel books is just the cheapness of it, right? It's so cheap that like it's not a 9.2. What do you think? Or is it because of that little dent? Or not dent, but it's just there's some sort of weird cover fold that's going up and down the whole thing. So I'm definitely giving it the press indicator. Just there's too much wrinkling all over the place. I don't see anything really that crazy. If everything was, I would say, normal or typical, I'm counting 3 hairline spine ticks. And to me, that's where I'm like, it's a 9.6. So with everything else, I'll give it a 9.4 and then consider pressing it. This is Silk 4. Get this in Go Collect. Things from Another World. I don't remember exactly why I ordered this. I think I was just missing the book in the run of Silk. I didn't subscribe to it. There may be a first appearance in here. Maybe that's why I was tipped off on that. Let's see. Just checking out the prices. This Silk 3 variant, incentive variant, is selling over ratio. That's cool. All right, next up is the Sleigh Bells from Bad Idea. And about to see what the quality is there. So, interesting because I just spent the last few minutes complaining about Marvel. 9.4 pressable. And now we have Bad Idea that has taken some shots at Marvel around quality. And, you know, it sounds great, but what about it? Let's see. So I'm not a big fan of like comic book stories about the holidays. I think it kind of puts the book in a very specific era or time period, and I want comics to be timeless. All right, here we go. So it's definitely a heavier book, and as it should be, since paid more for it. So yeah, at first glance, it does feel better. It's like a semi-glossed cover with some outlining around the characters and the art. Kind of see that from the light. So that looks pretty good. Looks real crispy. That looks like a corner issue, but it's just art. There's no bending. That right there, little corner issue, a little bit of splitting. It's not too bad. Spine looks good. More splitting there. I think what I'm noticing, you'll see this in a lot of cardstock books, is this bottom edge right here. It's not directly on the corner. Right there. But it's on the edge. Probably something that could be pressed, but I haven't gotten into cardstock pressing quite yet. I think I want to give it a 9.8. That's tough. That's probably my biggest issue, is this down here, the corner we just looked at. I really don't see anything else wrong with it. I could get ultra picky and also say that there's a slight bump on all of these corners too. It's hard to get in the light, but there's a slight corner issue up there too. Man.